Hello, this video is intended as an explainer for this channel and why I've started it, and also a bit of a call to action in how I want people to talk to each other more, not past each other, no matter which side of any topic you find yourself. So let me start with those who think themselves anti-fascist, or indeed anyone who doesn't agree with those who wave the flag or standing outside of asylum hotels, or those who think Charlie Kirk is some sort of free speech martyr. Now, obviously, you are allowed and entitled to your opinion. But let me ask you this, other than shouting fascist or racist, what are you really doing to change hearts and minds? Put yourself in the shoes of someone who's sympathetic to those views. Shouting at them is only alienating them at a time when we need to be relentlessly seeking common ground. We must make space for people to change their minds with open debate, relentlessly focusing on what we have in common. So if you think politicians are going to solve this somehow, I have to tell you, most parties have little or no credibility left with the working class. And that's because when you go to their working class areas, for decades they've had the lowest turnout and no one cared, as long as they returned the parties like Labour and so on. And they did their job and they were taken for granted. And now someone's come along and is finally speaking directly to them, terms they recognise, and we're shocked that they might vote for them. We know the polling, and if nothing changes, the working class stand to lose so much. Anti-trade union legislation, anti-migrant rules, a crackdown on free speech. But we've not made that argument clearly enough, not in terms that the working class can engage with. We've watched the international movement of ethno-nationalists and populist parties who have been organising with tech bros, offering those simple solutions which divide us. And inevitably, when their policies fail, new scapegoats will be needed. So is it those with settled status, remigration, lefties? Ask any normal voter and 99% of them will say they are fine with legal migration. But we've let the topic of migration divide and distract us from our real enemy, and that's inequality caused by mega corporations and billionaires. So Corbyn and Sultana can have their psychodramas living up to the joke from Monty Python about the People's Front of Judea, all while tech bros and their nihilistic robber barons continue to hoard as much as possible. All of the cars, houses and phallus-shaped rockets, it will never end, because their hole will never be filled. So whatever you think about the dog whistle hidden behind many of the talking points, too many of you miss the truth, the nub of what people are concerned about. The average voter is right to be concerned about protecting women and girls, about protecting our borders, about wanting better jobs, pay and conditions, and finally protecting free speech. But that doesn't make them fascists. And I don't hear left-wing voices talking about those topics in terms that they would recognise nearly enough. So what? Let me look at an engineering principle. Plan, do, check, adjust. It's a really simple model, but it's really effective. So plan. What is it you want to do? What do you want to change, and how are you going to go about it? So perhaps you're watching me because you want people to think twice before voting for populism or nationalism. So let's call that our plan. Do. Obviously, you go ahead and do your plan. So up to now, you've gone online and maybe made a few snide remarks. Maybe you've joined marches and rallies and demos and you've shouted fascists and racists and immigrants are welcome here. Yeah, I mean, okay, it's something, I guess. So step 3, check. Did it have the desired impact? Do I need to say anything? And step 4, adjust. So if your plan isn't working, look at it again, change it, go back to the beginning. I shouldn't have to spell this out, but the anti-fascist plan is not working. And the adjust bit seems to be, let's do plan A that little bit harder. I'm not interested in navel gazing or excuses, I want solutions. And here is one I offer. That we come together as a broad church against those who do not want the working class to realise that they deserve so much more. So how would I adjust the plan? Well, I think we need a local movement that's all over the country, A movement of people who, like me, will work relentlessly with empathy to change hearts and minds in our communities. That needs to be an in-person conversation as well as online. I can only reach so many people. I have a certain amount of credit and respect built up in my wider family and friendship circles. So I can use that, and I do. But every one of us will have people in our lives who are frustrated and feeling left behind. Perhaps they think there's a deeper truth being hidden in all the noise and information online. Whatever. But don't ignore your friends, family members or colleagues. Embrace them. I want to empower you to have that conversation within your networks, no matter how difficult you find it. We need to meet people where they are, not where we want them to be. We need to be relentlessly compassionate and working to win them back from the ideas of division, back from the ideas of blame and othering, and back to the idea of class solidarity. Because we have so much more in common than divides us. The billionaires and their admirers have been growing for the last 10 years. But I'm still optimistic because there is no final victory and no complete defeat. And we can build the resources, we can build our network, and we can learn from our mistakes. We can adjust the plan and build the confidence that we need to relentlessly win back the working class. So please, follow me as I try to build a network to regain our common humanity.